It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Divas That Care. My name is Candace Gish. I am beyond excited today. I'm going to be re-interviewing an amazing woman that has been on my show and who has really inspired me by what her platform is all about. This lady is going to blow your mind, everyone. I know that you're going to love her, just like I love having her on my program. So let's get started. For any of you that have just tuned in for the very first time, thank you so much. The Divas That Care has been online now we're going to our 11th season, and we are listened to in over 30 countries around the world. So a big shout out to all of you guys out there. Thank you so much for, sharing our platform, sharing our stories, and all our amazing guests out there, because I know that they're making a difference in people's lives. Well, as I said, I'm excited. Today, I'm welcoming back Yvonne Heath. Yvonne is such an inspirational speaker, and I know today she's going to inspire all of you. Yvonne, welcome back to the Divas.
Woohoo! I love Divas That Care. Thank you so much, Candace. I'm thrilled to be here.
Oh, I am so happy to have you back. You absolutely, when I had you on the last time, I was absolutely blown away. And because of that program, I went out and I purchased these amazing bracelets that you make, or you have made for you, and I give them out all the time. And I know we're going to be talking about that in the show, but before we kind of start or talk about that, could you maybe reintroduce yourself to all of our new listeners?
Absolutely. Yes. We have so much to talk about. But yeah, so I was a nurse for 27 years, realized that we are a society that is ill prepared for grief. And we do not understand grief, and it is not something that just shows up at end of life. Grief is our mental, physical, and emotional reactions to loss, transition, change. It's whatever makes your heart ache: divorce, diagnosis, job loss, mental health issues, and of course, facing end of life, and perhaps navigating a pandemic. Let's talk about global grief. So, yes, I catapulted, I changed, I took a leap of faith, left my nursing career, became an author, speaker, change maker, and it has been an extraordinary journey since 2015, just connecting with global change makers such as yourself, and bringing heart and humor wherever I go, because it's already serious enough, isn't it? It's already serious enough. So, yes, just being a voice for change, and I love it.
I love it, and I love listening to your story, because you bring so much energy to light. Like, you just are so full of energy, and I love it. But you've got such a positive impact, and I think that's important. And as you're saying, we need more of that in this world. We need to smile more. We need to realize that it's not the end of the world. We can keep going. There's so much that has happened, in the last 18 months. And I think we sometimes get caught up in the negativity of everything. But what I've seen in the last 18 months is so much positive stuff coming out of it. Yes, there has been a lot of reevaluating and figuring things out, but there's been so much great things coming.
Oh, my goodness. You are so right, Candace. And, you said something that's very important. It's like, yes, and. There's been a lot of challenges. There's been a lot of grief, from everything from disappointment to devastation. And there's also been a lot of people truly just showing up in beautiful ways, just showing up for people, supporting those who are marginalized, grieving, sharing their content, their wisdom, just to be a light in this world. And you know what? We can all be that light. We can all be that light. We can all choose that. And it is, of course, okay to acknowledge and allow our feelings. This has been challenging. And that's what? We always have a choice.
I agree. And I love what you had mentioned before, is just when you show up just for that one person. And I honestly, truly believe in my heart, if we each just showed up for one person, we changed the world.
Literally changed the world. And, you know, when they talk about just showing up and you talk about it, you do not need a PhD. It doesn't have to cost money. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. We talk about acts of kindness and random acts of kindness. We undervalue what that literally can make not only a difference, you can make the difference in their life. It's unbelievable, showing that you care or kindness. I have had so many stories of somebody, I just texted because I knew they were having a challenging time, sending love, all those wonderful heart emojis. And I see them in there, thank you so much for that text. It meant so much to me. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, like I said, sending love, thinking of you. What did that take, 2 seconds? It made a difference. It made a difference, right? Yeah,
it did.
We just need to be more intentional.
You have to be. And I think that's what I like most when you had mentioned the last time, is that movement that you have is I just showed up. And it really is so important. Can I ask you why you decided to do that? Why is it called I Just Showed Up?
I love this question. Well, when I left my nursing career, I kind of became that kooky author in the forest. I wrote my book, Love Your Life to Death. I shared people's stories ages 11 to 101, and it had just a profound impact on my life. And so many people, thousands of people reached out to me and said how it really changed their lives. And I feel like it is a tremendous resource for all adults. I still wanted to reach younger people. I want younger people to grow up, preparing for grief before grief arrives, understanding how they can make an impact, right? So I was just churning in my house. I said, I need to teach younger people so they don't suffer excessively like the rest of we, as adults, have suffered tremendously. And so we don't know how to teach them. So I wanted them to be a part of something. And I said, I want to teach them to just show up. And then it was like that, like the bracelet says, I just showed up. And what that is a conversation starter. And it reminds people to just show up for themselves first. And the fact that they just showed up for someone and made a difference. I just showed up. Right? So there's pride in that. There's teaching. Guess what? I made a difference for my neighbor. I just showed up I shoveled her walkway. I asked her how she was doing. I had a cup of tea with a lonely person down the road. I just showed up. Right? Instead of just telling people what to do, you're sharing what you did. And I feel like that's just a tremendous conversation to have a ripple effect of teaching people. So yes, I love it.
I love it too, and it was. I started giving those out, and they were a big conversation. They're like, well, what is this all about? And explaining what it's about is just the coolest thing.
Absolutely. And that, when I did my TEDx Talk in 2019, I explained to people what that means to just show up for yourself first and just show up. And so the bracelet is a conversation starter, and then people can see the TED Talk that explains it further, and they can connect with me for life. This is about being connected for life, because when grief arrives again, once again, we'll be in that place. We don't know what to do. We don't know what to say. And the answer, no matter what we are facing, is just show up. We need reminders. We need connection. This is ongoing learning forever.
Yeah. I love that. That is so powerful, very powerful. I think a lot of people get scared because they feel like they need to know what to say to a person. And you don't need to think that you have to say the right thing. Just being there is the most important thing to do.
Oh, my goodness. You are so right, Candace. You do not need a PhD to love and support. You do not need to be a professional. Do you know who knows how to show up beautifully? Children. I have heard children say, my friend was sad, so I just sat with her. Grandma was missing Grandpa, so I just sat and cried with her. That's it. Just show up and allow your humanness, allow all feelings. And, you know, when people say, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say, it's so uncomfortable. And I say, yes, it is. Just show up anyway. It is not your job to judge or to fix it.
Nope.
It's not. And when people used to say, oh, you're so good at this grief stuff. Well, you know, what I'm good at is being transparent and vulnerable and crying and saying, this is really sad. This is really sad. And it's okay to name it. It's okay to say, I'm sad too. I don't know what to do or say, but I'm here. I'm here. You are not alone. It's so powerful. And we need to just show up for each other no matter what we are facing, no matter what life throws at us.
Yes.
It is always the answer.
And this is exactly why I have this amazing woman on our program, everyone. She is absolutely got a beautiful soul. So, Yvonne, what have you been doing in 2021?
Yes. Well, it's so interesting because, of course, when I left my career 5.5 years ago, I didn't know a global pandemic was on the way. I had no idea we would be facing global grief. So, you know, as much as we all are just absolutely done with this pandemic, the pandemic is not done with us. And I've had my moments of grief with that, you know, a lot of disappointment. I have 16-year-old twins. They're so disappointed in many, many ways. Our 27-year-old son lives in British Columbia, which is several provinces away. We haven't seen him in 2 years. That hurts my heart. And so there has been, right? It's hard. It's very devastating. And the thing that I have allowed myself to grieve, I've had tears, I've had sadness, and then I say, now what? And I have been sharing my message online. And, you know, I had, I think, 20 in-person events canceled in the last 18 months, right? Because we're no longer gathering. And so I've pivoted to online. I am sharing my message with heart and humor, helping people understand we are experiencing global grief. And the beautiful thing about that is that grief and joy can coexist. Grief and joy can coexist. So we don't have to wait for the pandemic to be over to be more intentional about bringing in the joy, bringing in the laughter. Right? Let's do it now. Let's not wait. Oh, we'll be so healed when the pandemic is over. I don't think we're going to get a memo that it's over and then everything's going to be honky-dory, right? Like, it's not going to work like that. There's still, you know, we could have what I call PTSD, post-pandemic stress disorder, right? Because if we do not develop coping skills and strategies now and bring in the joy and the happiness now, it's not going to happen that day. And we have to prepare ourselves for the fact that things will be different. And when people say, I just can't wait to get back to normal, I say, heck no. I aspire for so much better, right? Because when you think about it, mental health issues, divorce, the opioid crisis, all of the things that were systemic racism, that was all in place before the pandemic, when you think about it. So let's aspire for so much better now. This is a time to shine your light now. And when your light is dim, just show up for yourself and ask for help. Ask for help. My light's pretty bright most of the time. You know, I'm a little fired up, but I've had my moments. And then I just say, I need someone to be there, just show up for me today. And we need to be great at that. And then we will do so much better on the other side.
That is wonderful. And it's so true. We have to be there for one another. And you know what? We all go through it. We all have felt it in one way or another. And, you know, I think that's what I love the most about you is that, you know what, you keep it real. And you realize and you share with people that, you know what, it's okay. It is okay. It is #normal to feel that way. And I think that's what people are struggling with. They don't know how to feel. They don't realize that it's normal. They become overwhelmed.
Oh, gosh. Absolutely. Well, think about it. I left my nursing career because we didn't know what to do with grief as a society, right? We ignore it. We push it away. We drink it away. We're excessively busy because we don't want to feel those hard feelings. We don't understand that grief can show up in so uniquely and with every person. They experience it in a different way. Anger, irritation, confusion, they just can't be productive. They can't concentrate. They cry. All kinds of things. We didn't even know what to do with grief before the pandemic. And now we have this umbrella of global grief, and we still don't get a pass on the regular grief in life. There's still emotional issues, and we're now people who maybe didn't get along great, or we're stuck at home more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
And teenagers who can't socialize, and we can't be excessively busy and escape our feelings. So if people tell me that they haven't struggled at all, I think, that's so cute. What a beautiful bubble of denial you've been living in, because I feel like if you're human, this has been challenging in one way or another. And let's talk about it. Let's name it. Let's, and realize that it's okay. If you're struggling at all, that concerns me more, to be quite honest. So let's just allow our humanness. Mm-hmm. And, call it what it is. Here's my expert thing to say. This really sucks. Because sometimes it just does. It's hard and is hard. And that's okay to name it. We don't have to judge it. We don't have to compare it. There will always be somebody having a harder time than you and someone having an easier time. We don't need to compare our grief or our challenges. It's all valid. Whatever makes your heart ache, name it, feel it, go for a walk, things through it, scream in a pillow, just try not to. I say there's no right or wrong way to grieve unless you're hurting yourself or someone else. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Everything else is fair.
Exactly.
So listen to your body. Listen, that's just allow your humanness and bring in the humor, bring in the joy, because it's already serious enough.
It is. I was going to ask you, Yvonne, do you have any online programs you're doing with anybody right now? So if any of our listeners are interested in perhaps joining you in something, is there a way to do that?
Oh, my goodness. I have so many resources, which I feel very proud of on my website, loveyourlifedeath.com. There's my TED Talk is there. If you follow me, you get 10 tips navigating life, grief, and everything in between, and lots more. And yes, my online program is there. It's called Get Ready for Grief. And with that, how ironic, like I said, I created that before the pandemic. So, that is a lifetime resource to help support people personally and professionally for life, because as grief arrives again, and it will, we need resources. We need something to fall back on. And so I'm very proud to offer these. And people can follow me on social media, reach out. We're all in this together to learn from one another, support one another, and just bring gratitude in, heart, humor along the way.
That is excellent. And for all of you, I would recommend checking out her bracelets. I picked up a whole bunch of them. You know what? It was so much fun. Honestly, Yvonne, I love doing that, and I love giving them out, and I love those conversations because, you're making a difference in people's lives, and I just think that's fantastic when people can do that. One thing I'd like to ask you, Yvonne, oh, you're welcome. Do you have any tips, anything else that you would love to share with our listeners today?
Well, the thing that I always love to share, because no matter what else, just remember this. And by the way, with the bracelets, this I Just Showed Up movement, we are taking globally. So I encourage everyone to be a part of that. But you have to remember, no matter what, if you want to be able to just show up for others, you must just show up for yourself first. You have value and you matter no matter what. There's only one criteria to have value and to matter, and that's you exist. There's no other criteria. And when you don't know what to do, you don't know what to say, it's awkward, it's uncomfortable, and you can't fix it, the magic answer is, no matter what you're facing, just go up.
Beautiful. I want to thank you so much, Yvonne, for coming back on the program. I want to thank you for all the amazing positive things that you share with our listeners. And you know what? I can't wait to have you back on because I know that you will be a guest that comes back on the program and start sharing more stuff with us. So thank you again.
Love it. Thank you so much, Candace. You're a beautiful shining light in this world.
Oh, thank you. And here's to an amazing 2021, everyone. This is why we have these programs, is so that we can have amazing women like Yvonne on our program to share, words of wisdom with all of us, to inspire us, to empower us, to realize that, the world is good out there and we can make a difference. And again, thank you to my amazing guest, Yvonne. Thank you to all of our amazing, I would say amazing people that have supported our platform. We thank you so much for always tuning into the Divas That Care. So make sure you check out all of our other hosts on divasthatcare.com. Thank you again, and I hope that you all have a fantastic day.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.